Welcome back to the podcast with your host, Drew Heifetz, Vintage and Stuff, where we talk about just that. Today, I'm super fired up, actually, because I have two amazing guests. This is the second podcast with two guests. I have Kurt of Smokestack Vintage and Ricky of Ricky KZ, two super OGs in the game, who basically are living out my dream of hunting through abandoned houses on the daily, or at least on the weekly, right?
Yeah, once a week.
Nice.
I mean, sometimes it gets a little too much and you gotta take a break.
Yeah, a little too much dust in the nostrils. You gotta let it clear out.
Yeah. I pretty much almost died coming out of the house. I don't think I can breathe. We're gonna stop at a bar and do a shot of Fireball. I need to get more professional. Like, I don't even wear gloves. I don't have a mask.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny, actually? I've done this a few times, and I remember when me and Jesse did it, we were chatting about that. We're like, we need a kit. We need like a tool belt with like a hammer and a crowbar and like get a gas mask and get all prepared so you can like fully just get in there and tear it apart, you know?
Right. We get better like almost every time we go out because we'll add another tool to the toolkit, or we have face masks, but we never wear them. Well, yeah, we do have masks, but there's those shitty ones that you get. Just the white ones.
Well, honestly, man, like
the canister ones.
Yeah, I get allergies sometimes, even in like the rag yards and stuff. But I hate wearing the fucking masks, man. It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay, but before we get into the details of the house hunting here, let's get a quick background of where you guys came from and how you got into the vintage biz. I gave a challenge a few weeks ago on the podcast about giving a shout out to whoever got you in the biz. So let's hear how you guys got in the biz and who got you in.
Well, I'll go first, I guess. Yeah. Well, I just kind of have always been doing this, growing up. Like, my mom was kind of a thrifter and would, like, send me into fucking dumpsters to grab rocking chairs for the house and shit like that.
Sick.
So and then, I don't know, eventually, how I got, like, into it as far as clothing. Like, I started out selling bikes and shit on eBay. Like, I mean, honestly, I sold, like, granny stuff, like, hammered aluminum, just, like, the weirdest shit. Like, not anything clothing related until I had my first son, which was probably, he was born in 2000. And I just went on eBay looking for, like, old vintage T-shirts that he could wear, like He-Man shirts or shit I used to wear.
Yeah.
And so I typed in vintage T-shirt on eBay, and I was like, holy fuck. And I found Vintage Vantage. You remember that dude?
Yeah. Well, I remember the account. I don't know if I ever met the guy.
Yeah, I never met him either, but I met, like, the account, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's killing it. So that got me into the whole T-shirt game. And then eventually I met this old dude. He's not even on Instagram, but he's a local guy here. He's been doing it, since, like, the 80s. And he kind of, like, schooled me on, like, zippers and older shit, because I was just selling, like, 70s and 80s T-shirts or whatever. Yeah. But, yeah, so he was just one of the dudes that really, like, schooled me on that shit.
So where are you guys actually located? What town are you in?
I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
What about you, Kurt? Are you in the same town?
Yeah, I'm west of the cities because I hate too many people. He's in Chaska. I'm out in the sticks.
You're like me, man. I moved out of the city a few years ago. Fuck that. I need my solitude.
Yeah, as time goes on, I just keep moving further west. Kurt's a grumpy old man, and he's younger than me.
Well, you got to move to where the abandoned houses are, I guess, so good call.
Right, yeah.
So, Kurt, what's your story, man? How'd you get in the game?
I've thought about this a lot. I don't know what got me into vintage and antiques. I think when it all started, I think it all started when I think it all started when I cleaned out my grandpa's house after he died with my dad, and I was just collecting every random little knick-knack and cool thing I found. But no one else in my family is into vintage or antiques. They just don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I first get into the clothing game. For the longest time, I was just dealing in like industrial furniture and big heavy cast iron crap and stuff like that. And I went into a shop to sell, and Ricky had just come in. We were new guys, same day, and I'm watching the antique business just like crash, and I'm watching Ricky sell clothing like more crazy, and so I was just watching it for years, and I would bring Ricky clothes and sell it to him for my cost just so I could learn something, and finally I made the pivot. Now I'm doing clothing with Ricky, but really it was Ricky. It was Ricky, and give a little credit to Nick at Beers Mermaids, because both of those guys kind of got me into it.
Cool, man. So what you say that the antique market crashed? Like, what year was that, and what happened?
Probably 3 years ago now. I was doing like the junk shows, all over the Midwest. I'd go to set up at big shows with furniture and repurposed crap, and then all of a sudden, it's right around the election. Around the election, like right before that, people just stopped buying things.
Weird.
And, I guess I can't blame them. Well, but
they're just hoarding everything. They're just scared of life at that point.
Yeah, they're just like, what is happening in the world? I'm not going to buy a table. I don't even know if I'm going to be here next year.
Wow.
So, but I'm a bigger guy. I'm tall, and I've got like dating website.
What does that have to do with anything? No, we want a mental picture, man.
I'm big, so I never find vintage clothing in my size, and so I didn't quite get it at first. I was like, I couldn't wear it. But as soon as I started finding stuff in my size, and then I slowly just started to appreciate it more.
So
time.
Basically, like chore coats are the only thing you can find in your size.
Yeah, pretty much. And overalls, old fat man overalls. I can occasionally find some Pendleton or Filson that fit me. His favorite brand is Big Dad.
Nice. Okay, I want to. So the reason I appreciate what you guys do is because I said I've done it a couple times. Not even close to the level that you guys do it. But my experience doing this was in Spokane. Me and Jesse, landlord, our partner, and these guys from Seattle found a score out in Spokane, which is like in the middle of nowhere, West Washington, right? So it's like 8-hour drive from Seattle or something. So we drove out there to do this dig, spent a night. It was a sports store. We got a ton of stuff from him. But then as we were driving back, I was like, yo, there's just so many abandoned houses, these farmhouses.
Yeah.
And obviously the reason there's all these abandoned farmhouses is because like the way big industrial farms now just buy up everything, right? And then there's no need for all these people to live in these houses.
Yep.
So we fucking hit it, man. And we like went into this first house. It's kind of nerve-wracking because you're like, is there somebody here? Like, is there somebody in the back shed that I don't know about? It's going to come out with a gun or something, but...
Right.
Then we went in the house. The stairs are falling down. You think you're going to, like, fall through to the basement or something. But we ended up finding clothes, and it was, like, the wildest experience. Like, I remember finding some, like, 1950s salvage penny jeans, some old shirts, and... Then we went to the feed barn on this one property, and we kind of scored, man. It was like grommet zipper, sweater, old denim pieces, old work shirts. Mind you, it was like totally fucked, but...
sometimes, mostly it is, but...
Yeah.
I feel like that's what... Like, they'll take... It's just crazy because they always leave the clothes behind. Because nobody thought that clothes were going to be worth money or that they are worth money.
Yeah,
so, like, they'll take all their valuables, when they move, but then they just leave the clothes behind.
Yeah, I mean it's insane, and that was like my experience, and it made me so stoked, and I wanted to do more of it. So now, like here and there, I'll stop, and if I see something, but I mean where we live, there isn't that because we live in the mountains, right? There's not like there's no farmland, right? Because basically what you guys are hitting are farmhouses, right?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to find than the farmland. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're hitting houses, farmhouses.
So, yeah, get into it. Like, how did this come about? Have you guys always been picking houses, or was this a newer adventure thing?
So Ricky kind of started this. He went, I didn't start it, but just in, in my eyes. Ricky went up to his cabin one time for like a week and started posting. All of a sudden, he started posting 30 stuff, like, chin straps and buckle back pants. Well, I'll just, so I was up north, met this chick at the bar. And she's
all
like,
good stories start like this.
Right. I met this chick at the bar, and then she's like, I'm going to take you out tomorrow on an adventure or whatever. And so she picked me up the next day and, like, drives me out. I was up at my mom's cabin. She drove me back to, like, these back roads and shit. And we go by this house, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, there was gas pumps and old cars, and, it was overgrown, and it just obviously was abandoned. And so the next day, I go on my own, and I go over there, and this is the first time I've ever done this. I was just like, the house is wide open, doors are wide open, dude. I mean, I found dead stock chin strap shirts, buckle back jeans in the attic, just, camp blanket, just everything that I looked for was just in this fucking house. It was insane.
That's crazy.
And I killed it, dude. And
so you basically walked in there and pulled out like thousands of dollars worth of gear for free.
Like 10 G's, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. It was insane. And then, so I was stuck because I didn't have a ride home, so I called my buddy Nick at Bearded Mermaid, and we go back and found even more stuff.
That is so sick.
So then I was hooked from that on. So Ricky's hooked, and we always kind of went out picking together anyway. But so we go out, we just start driving, and we're passing abandoned houses, and he's telling me stop, and I'm like terrified. I'm like a suburban kid, I don't do this. So we, I think the first one I parked like 2 blocks away, and we walked in, and I'm just like crapping my pants. But I always have a little bit of liquid courage.
Good call.
But, the adrenaline rush was just insane because we were finding stuff in this house, and then we just started doing it again and again, and it started to get easier for me. Yeah, I still get nervous. It's crazier than me now.
Yeah, well, the nerves play into the adrenaline rush, right? So it's part of the fun.
Yeah.
So, when was that first house? What year was that? Like, how long ago?
That wasn't that long ago. Yeah. I would say it was like a year and a half. No. It was like 3 years ago, I think, that house that first hit.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah,
no,
so like in the grand scheme of your picking life, like that's super new.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't think there was anything left. I've heard stories from all the old guys. They're like, oh yeah, we used to go in barns and find all kinds of shit. And this was in the 80s and 90s. And I think I started in the late 90s. So, and now it's fucking, I'm like, there's nothing left. Like, everybody's been through all these places. So when I went in there, dude, it was grommet zipper jackets, just crazy shit. I fucking came out of there with, I filled up my mom's Suburban, dude. It was insane.
That is so epic, dude. And so, like, I remember following you. I don't know where I first saw you, Ricky, but it would have been maybe on eBay. Is your eBay account called Ricky?
Ricky Casey. It's the same as my Instagram.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I followed you on eBay, like, way back then. Like, you're super OG, man. So you've been doing this full time for, like, 20 years.
Almost 20 years, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, at first, when I first started, I wasn't full-time until I really figured out, like, okay, if I really hustle at this, I can not have to work these shitty jobs that I work.
Yeah.
There was one second, actually, like, all my shitty jobs were getting in the way of me doing this, because I'm, like, at the thrifts or garage sales or whatever, and then I got to go to work at noon. And I'm like, fuck, I could make more money just doing this all day instead of going fucking delivering sandwiches for Jimmy Joe.
Hey, man, I drove pizzas for Domino's for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I worked shitty jobs until I was lucky to figure this shit out.
And you were almost in it, like, those early days were kind of glory days, eh? Like, high prices on a lot of things and not a lot of competition.
Oh, my God. I mean, I feel like an old man because I'm always like, whenever I'm with Kurt or my girlfriend, I'm like, oh, past the thrift store. I was like, oh, that used to be the best thrift store. I used to buy so much stuff there back in the old days.
Back in my day, we had to walk 10 miles in the snow to the thrift store.
Uphill both ways. I found 2 brown speech jackets in their Halloween section. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I still every now and then will hit a thrift and find like one, crazy thing, but it used to be weekly, dude.
Yeah.
And now it's like what I don't even bother with thrift stores, especially after we do this. And it's mostly free.
Yeah, no kidding. So like, let's hear like some of the better houses or like interesting, crazy things you found.
What's up? You can tell them. So probably our best house together. It was early on when we started doing this, and I went to it alone, and I walked in. You could kind of tell there was clothes everywhere, and I was finding 40s denim, but the stairs were rotted and fallen down, and I've always kind of called Ricky my little monkey.
Nice.
Like, I can hoist him up onto the second floor, and he'll crawl through any window. I'm a lot more agile. Yeah. And so I took him back. We were going to go on a picking trip. I want to go to this house first. And so I took him there, and we had a ladder. And I set the ladder up, and he got up there. The upstairs was just insane. Oh, my God. It was just boxes of overalls, boxes of chambray, big yank, big pocket, little pocket. Like, I mean, it was all worn, but it was the amount of stuff. It was overwhelming. And this house is falling down. And it was, I mean, we probably left there with 5 garbage bags full of just overalls and chambrays. I mean, wow. I'd say at least 60 pairs of overalls. Yeah. And at least that many chambrays. And then just a whole bunch of other random stuff, like some navy denim jeans. We found one Jack Purcell. Yeah, one Jack Purcell.
That's cool. It's a wall hanger, man. That's like a put on your mantle shoe.
Right? Yeah, we've got a box of those now. There's not a one-legged man out there.
True. That sounds insane. You know, it's funny. Like, you look at what the state of the vintage game now, and most people that are interested in vintage or getting into vintage, like, don't even have the appreciation for this kind of stuff. Like you guys do, or I also do because I've been doing it for so long, and this is like the stuff that is more interesting to me, than just t-shirts.
Sure, right.
And like, how do you find?
I feel like,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I do this because I know it sounds corny and cliche, but like, I have a passion for what I do. Like, I love finding this shit. I get excited about it. Like, I remember when I found my first Levi's number 1 jacket. I found it at Savers for $7.99, dude, and I was like having a seizure.
Yeah.
I was shaking and shit. I was so excited.
Yeah, it's so rad, dude. Like that feeling, like you're talking about, it's like the picker's high, right? The adrenaline.
Yeah.
You don't really get the same feel. I mean, I guess you do from like certain sports, or like, I liken it to like landing a trick on my skateboard or something. Like, if you've been working so hard to land a trick on your skateboard, you finally do, you're so stoked. And it's like, same thing. You're picking, and then you finally find something sick. It's the best feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I compare it to, I used to do graffiti, and that shit used to give me adrenaline rush.
For sure, and yeah.
That when I stopped doing that, this was like the closest thing. It was basically, the same feeling, but obviously a different way of getting it. But
totally, but it's like you don't get that from a lot of jobs.
What's that?
You don't get that from a lot of jobs. Like, we're lucky to have that, and I think that's the allure of vintage in the beginning. Yep.
No, it's fun. It's a crazy way to make a living. Especially now that we do the houses. Like, that's a whole nother level.
That's why you're on the show, because this is fucking epic, man.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
I'm
excited.
Yeah, so like I've heard of I mean, you guys to me are the most consistent I've ever seen lately anyway, and like actually doing it all the time. Obviously Brit. Did you ever watch Brit's show?
Oh yeah.
Gold,
yeah.
like
what was it called? Ghost Town Gold?
Ghost Town Gold, yeah.
Yeah. No, I ran into him at Inspiration, he looked at me and goes, "You guys are fucking crazy."
Really?
How are we crazy compared to what you do?
It was kind of wild to me to go to Inspiration. Britt knew who I was. So I was like, what?
No, you guys do those YouTube abandoned houses guys.
That's fucking awesome that he knew that.
Yeah.
Brit's show, yeah, I watched it. I watched a few episodes. I don't think we get it in Canada, so I had to watch it when I was in the States, but very overly scripted. And he'll tell you that too. He was like,
oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, he was just bitching about it, saying that like the producers were tough to deal with and it was hard to work with and everything. But
right, and they want you to be over the top.
Exactly,
You know,
and they probably planted half of the gear. You know, it's not really authentic.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I love Britt. Britt's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. Like, shout out Britt.
No, I
Shout
do
out
too.
Britt, and he does it for real too. Like he, you know, that's just the show. But there's times when he's out there really doing that, and like I know he's gotten stuff from mines and everything.
What? He's going through mine. Like, I'm going through houses. Like, and you calling me crazy? Like,
Yeah. Dude.
And
yeah.
No, I love Britt. Like, he's always been super nice to me whenever I meet him. Like, I don't have a problem. I just thought it was funny that he was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's way more chances of a mine collapsing and you getting trapped underground than any issues in a house.
Exactly. That's what I was like.
It's
I
insane.
think you're crazy.
No, but so what about weird things you found in houses? What about like dead animals and friggin', I don't know. You've ever found, like other than clothes too? Have you found like weird trinkets or really interesting antiques or?
Well, we just found early 1900s what was that display case?
Oh yeah, like a nickel plated display case.
Cool.
That would be the old general store.
It was the only cool thing in this house, and I swear to God, there were 40 dead animals surrounding it. It's like greasy carcasses of animals that were like slipping and sliding on trying to get this thing out a window.
Oh, so we're talking like fresh dead.
It was gross.
Oh.
Like,
We've been in places like I had to leave because I'm like, I mean, I will tell you, I don't know what the deal is with this shit, but every time we go in the house, when you go up the stairs, you know how you walk up, like, they're usually angled stairs, and there's, like, that flat section in the middle?
Yeah.
That's where every raccoon in the world shits. I don't know why, but every house.
Every house is just like a foot deep pile of raccoon shit right in that spot.
Just straight.
Dude, you guys need to like get together with like an animal behaviorist. You're giving vital insight into the behavior of a raccoon right now.
Right. We can make money on the side. Well, but I gotta tell this story really quick. So, we were in, I think, South Dakota, the turkey vulture.
Oh yeah.
So we go into this house, and it's, we've been going all day, and it was just not finding anything. We finally find one, and it's early shit, like 20s, 30s stuff. But, it's on the floor, so it's kind of fucked up or whatever. And you could tell going into the house, it was 2 stories, but we could not find a stairwell. And finally, I just look up, and there's an open, where the stairwell was. Somebody took the stairs out and just literally put the stairwell upstairs. So, like, nobody could go up there kind of thing. So
Wow.
I go up there.
I go get the ladder out of the truck, and I set it up, and Ricky's the monkey, so he goes
I'm the
up the
gopher
ladder.
boy.
Yeah, and he crawls up the stairs and gets up there, and I'm downstairs. I don't know what's going on.
Fucking Batman was up there.
Yeah, a turkey vulture just starts going crazy. And I think I'm downstairs thinking,
they're like the size. They're almost the size of the eagle. They're big
Wow.
ass birds.
and I'm like, ah! But I'm downstairs thinking Ricky's in a fist fight with a raccoon or something. I'm downstairs going, Ricky, what's happening, Ricky? And I'm thinking he's gonna jump down the hole.
Yeah, he's covering for himself right now. No, he fucking ran out. I left me hanging. I ran away. Totally left me hanging. I'm like, oh, okay, I see how it is.
Hey, I didn't know what that animal was, and I didn't know what was coming down that hole at me. I got the hell out of there.
But I'll always get in shit for that. Leaving me up there with the goddamn.
Oh man.
Oh man! But then later, so we're going through the outbuildings of this place, and I'm standing by the truck, and this turkey vulture crashes out a window, like literally breaks a window to get out of this house, and
Wow.
starts circling me while I'm standing by the truck. And I'm like, oh my god, this thing is gonna dive bomb me.
Well, I told him he let me in there. He's like, I'll get that.
He's like, get the hell out of my house, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones as far as wildlife goes.
But we
run into
so much.
shit, like raccoons, mostly raccoons, turkey vultures.
Yeah.
You just never know. Luckily, no snakes or nothing like that.
Every
So-
once in a while, there's like a...
I've heard stories.
Almost.
I've heard stories about people pulling denim out of chimneys, man.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys check
Or
the
out of
chimneys?
walls. I haven't checked chimneys. I checked like for insulation. You know, a lot of times they would shove clothing into the wall.
Yeah, so you've ripped open
Like-
walls?
No, just like if the wall's kind of fucked up, I'll look in there. But like, I'm not trying to.
Yeah, we don't want to
We
get
don't like
there with like
pound
a
down.
baseball
We
bat.
don't pound down the plate. But,
Yeah.
I mean, say if it was old enough, like, and we found a bunch of shit in the house, yeah, then I might take the time to break a wall and see what's in
Yeah,
there.
because realistically, like, for someone to use clothes as insulation, we're talking like 20s, 30s house or older, right?
Yeah. I mean, my grandma insulated her house with all staple jackets.
There's retirement.
I wish.
So have you ever been run up on by like somebody for trespassing?
Yep. Quite.
So let's hear this.
We're pretty cautious. If it says no trespassing, or if the house is locked, or it's pretty obvious they don't want you there, we don't go in. But it was when we were going to LA. We rented a brand new Suburban. You know, normally we're driving around in my crappy GMC truck that just looks abandoned.
And it fits right in.
Yeah,
It looks like
Nice.
it's been sitting there for 30 years.
But on the way to LA, we rented a brand new Suburban, and it was white, so it stuck out. And twice, those were the only two times we got you know,
One in
any
Colorado.
up on us.
One in Nebraska, one in Colorado, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fine. Like, the guy was like, I watched this property for my buddy, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want you fucking around over here. And I'm like, oh, we're just taking pictures for my Instagram page. Like, I'm kind of a photographer. That's like always my cover.
Nice.
And the house was wide open. There wasn't shit in there. Like, and he knew. He said, I know there ain't shit in there, but I just don't think you should be over here. And then, and it all ended up friendly, and we bullshitted for a while, and we left.
Yeah, this house, we had literally driven through a cornfield to get to this one, so that was a little bit awkward. But
Yeah, but the guy rolls up, and we're in Colorado, and he's in a camouflage Jeep, and I'm like, we're going to get shot.
That's it. Tossed in the cornfield for the turkey vultures.
But we kind of have a routine. The first thing we do every time we come up on a house is take a picture of it, and I snap a few pictures when I'm inside, just in case somebody comes up. I can say we're just taking pictures, and I can show them.
And these houses are, like, people give us shit, too, sometimes. They're like, you guys are stealing and breaking into people's houses. I'm like, no, dude. Like, watch the YouTube videos. These houses are wide open, have been abandoned for years.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming to save this shit.
Seriously.
Like, the shit is it's rotting away, and we're saving it and, you know, fucking
And we
making
support
a
our,
living.
yeah, we support our families doing it.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, I don't feel any ways about that. If that's if stuff's sitting there, and half the time the properties, like we were talking about before, are probably owned by like Monsanto or some fucked up thing.
But a lot of these farm fields are owned by foreign companies. They buy them up and put windmills up, and so there's like 10 properties all right around each other, and that's all they buy them for, so they can put windmills up.
Yeah, because most people, if they don't want you in their property, put up a gate. And we're not trying. We don't go over gates like that.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly out here, I haven't found many that are wide open. Every time I get to a spot, it seems to be locked. So I don't even have ways about breaking in, boys. I'll break in if it seems abandoned.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Well, you know, I won't say we haven't ever done that.
When we first started, we were a little crazy about it.
Yeah.
Now I'm just a little more cautious. Like,
Yeah.
you just, you know, if you do this, you have a feeling about it. When you pull up on a property, like, you just get a feeling, you're like, we shouldn't fuck with this one.
Yeah.
You know,
And, you know, we
drive out, and then we find the one that's good, and then we find it there.
we travel with money, and we have flyers. And so if there is one that's lost, usually it's the house right down the street that owns it. And, you know, so we'll go give them a flyer. And sometimes that pans out, and most of the time it doesn't.
Most of the time it doesn't.
That's crazy. So like, so you guys run it like American Pickers, where you'll go up to the door and say, "Hey, we're here. I'm interested in some stuff. This is what I buy."
Sometimes, yeah. That's like, I would say 10% of the time we'll actually hand out flyers, but usually we're just finding abandoned houses.
And so, like, when you've done how has it ever worked? The flyers?
Yeah, it worked for him. Well, of course, the one time I don't go with him, he fucking finds like a banger house. I'm like,
It's just because he's a nicer guy, Ricky. He's more approachable.
Well, Ricky's never the one going to the...
no, that's in the car. I'm the... You do that shit. I don't want to talk to people.
So,
No,
yeah,
one
so...
time
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, the one time, like, I've never missed out on, like, a picking trip with Kurt. Like, I always go. But there was one time I just couldn't go. And he's all pissed at me. And then he ends up... Actually, it was kind of a good thing for... went into a total different area. If I would have got up and went with him, he decided to go to a different place and like knock on the door and gets like collar sweaters. He like killed it.
So rad.
Ricky was...
I was bitter.
Yeah, Ricky was a little bitter.
But had I woken up, we wouldn't even have been in that situation.
Yeah.
So, that brings me to my next
had I been
thing.
with Ricky, we would have never gone there.
How does it work when you guys are out picking on the road together and you find stuff? Do you just split it down the middle?
Yeah.
I typically clean it, and then we sell it from either my warehouse or my house. But after it's sold, we split the money.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I'm the one always going in the houses solo. So
He just hoists you up to the window.
Sometimes, yeah. If I can't get in, Ricky's in there solo, or sometimes if there's not a place to like hide the truck, then I park down the street and we've got walkie-talkies. We talk to each other on.
Nice. You guys are prepared. So Kurt, is this your full-time gig too? Is that selling clothes for you, or do you have another job?
Yeah, I do this full time. I used to own restaurants, but this is my full-time gig now.
No.
It's a lot easier than managing 16-year-old kids at a sandwich shop.
Yeah, fair enough, man. I manage enough teenagers. I know what it's like. Seriously.
Yeah, it's not always fun.
So what would you guys say is the percentage of stuff you're pulling out of these houses compared to like other sources of vintage for you?
This is literally the only way I'm getting vintage for the most part. Like probably 95% of the stuff I get is out of abandoned houses.
Yeah, I would say me, I'm about 80, 90. I'll hit the bins every now and then. And
That's crazy. I thought this was just like a fun side thing, like while you're still getting stuff from other places.
no, it's like the main shit, dude.
We go out.
That doesn't mean that money.
Yeah, we're not loaded, but not always anyway. But no, I mean, we go out once a week, and we can typically fill up, 3 or 4 55-gallon garbage bags full of stuff.
And then I mean, if it's all 40s, 50s, 30s, whatever, it's all good money, right?
Yeah. I mean, we go on trips where it totally sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, not every trip is great, but
Of course.
I would say like most of the trips are worth going, and then there's the ones where you hit a house and you're like, fuck it, let's go home, dude. We just killed it.
But I'd say there's probably only 1, maybe 2 times that we didn't at least get enough stuff to cover our gas and make it worth going. But we don't always kill it.
Yeah. So what about like 90s and stuff? Do you ever come on a house where you're like, this has been abandoned more recently and you're just finding like cool t-shirts and more pop culture stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot, but I mean, we went to one house where there was like, I got a 90s Kurt Cobain tee.
Nice.
Just recently, we got a bunch of concert tees. They were all 1990s.
We just got some 1990 concert tees.
That's so rad.
Yeah.
Did the bedroom have like posters of Kurt on the wall?
That one, I don't think so. It was packed full of shit. Like, I was climbing on mountains with like bags of whatever, clothes, junk, toys. But no, we go into places where it's just crazy. Yeah, there's like, there's just there's like we've gone into a lot of like metal houses. Like, I just call them metal houses, where there's like rock posters and there's like seriously 500 beer cans. I don't know. Obviously, it's like these people with those houses you go into where it's just like seriously, it's like 5 to 1,000 bottles. Sometimes it's booze bottles or beer, and sometimes it's like Fago fucking bottles. Like, it's just like most of these houses were hoarder houses, and then obviously they lost their shit and went crazy or whatever, and ended up like in a home or whatever.
Yeah, or just died.
And,
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, we've been in a few houses that it's pretty obvious that somebody just died and the family just left the house.
Yeah, and I'm waiting on logging where, there's a dead body. I'm like, if we keep doing this, that's going to happen eventually.
Dude, you never know, because it could be like a squatter that lived there and they just passed away and nobody even cared.
Right. You know what Ricky does? Every house, he opens the refrigerator,
No, I don't.
expecting to find a dead body in there.
Or a beer, or just a full beer they left, right? Come on. Let's be honest.
We do find a lot of food. I am a drunk, but I draw the line. I'm not drinking some old ass shit out of a abandoned house.
The last time he did that, though, there was like cheese and sour cream in there.
Don't bring it up.
Oh, that's nasty.
For like an hour.
Dude, I almost don't have anything.
Dude, a stagnant fridge, like a mildewed out fridge, is probably the worst smell in the entire world.
Dude, oh my god, it was the worst. Like, just thinking about it, I can't. I'm like, and of course,
Oh,
Kurt records
jeez.
me and posts this shit on he's an asshole.
Oh, so you say you got a warehouse, eh, Kurt?
Yeah, I've got a warehouse just, from when I used to do furniture and stuff, so I needed a big space. And I like tools, so I needed a place to put my tools. But now it's just piles of dirty clothes. Terrible. That's where all the dirty stuff goes before I sort it and clean it.
And is that how most of the sales happen, is like through appointments coming into your space?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, people think it's, they find it fun to dig through the dirty clothes. They feel like they're in the abandoned house. Yeah, pretty much. When we were doing the inspiration, it was clean but pretty much dirty clothes.
Hour of inspiration, it was basically a pile of shit on the floor. I feel like that's when we did the most of our sales.
Yeah.
Once we hung it up, people weren't interested. Like,
Well, I know, because like when you see the pile, it makes you think that you're going to get a deal, and then you put the energy into dig, and then you find something sick, and then you can't let it up even after you find out it's not a deal.
Right. Yep.
So, works well.
I was given some deals.
On accident.
We were doing mid prices in LA. That's
like, no, not 600 for the 24 side jacket.
I think this is like crazy fascinating that you guys are getting all your clothes out of houses, man. Do you know anybody else doing this?
Well, there's a lot of people now that we do it, and see, we fucked up and advertised it, and now as my buddy had said, he started a fire you can't put out. There's a lot of people doing it now, and they wouldn't be if we were just secretive about it. But there's like not a lot of fun in keeping it a secret.
Yeah, half the fun is engaging with customers on Instagram and just people's reactions to what we're doing, and I mean people love what we do. I think they love it mostly because we're dorks. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is, and I think that there's a lot of people out there with that attitude, like you shouldn't have posted what you do or whatever. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of land out there in Middle America to cover. There's thousands and thousands of houses. You're never gonna get it all. It's like obviously to a degree, you don't want the competition like coming into your turf, but. That's why, like, I've been putting out a lot of information on stuff, and some people are hating on it, but I'm like, if a kid in Florida finds something because I taught them, I'm not going to be at that thrift store in Florida. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, plus, like, you kind of got it locked down to where you can share information, and it's not going to affect you, because you got your spot. You're getting stuff. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, but nothing lasts forever, and like there's still competition in our spots. It's not like I own anything. Like I still have contracts with people, but competition does affect us. Like when we feel the pressure, a lot of people coming into Canada trying to buy.
Yeah, I've always said there are enough abandoned places in the Midwest to keep a bunch of us going for a while, but the problem recently is. We like to post fun pictures. We like to post pictures of like cool signs we see and whatever, and people start going to the same area you're in. And so we've had to kind of
meaning people.
Yeah, well, person. But so it sucks because I love sharing that with people, and I love sharing as much as we can about what we're doing and how much fun we're having. But we've had to kind of scale back, and that's why I stopped doing so many YouTube videos because it kind of took the fun out of it a little bit. I love talking to people. I love giving people tips, but if somebody's in the same area as you, that's rough.
Yeah.
So it's the nature of the game, and you just have to be better. Yeah.
It's true. I think like for, there's a level to share, and then there's obviously like a level to not share. It's like only share certain things and keep certain things secret,
Yeah. But see, I don't know. I'm just so nice. I probably overshare most of the time with people that I shouldn't, but, whatever.
Yeah, totally. It's good karma. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. Yep.
You'll keep finding yours. You'll keep finding yours.
And
so,
we're obviously not suffering because we keep doing it. So we're
yeah, and to be honest, like there's going to be a few people that are interested, but there's also like the new generation of people who are getting into vintage are probably not interested in the slightest in doing this. You know what I mean? Like they find it like a novelty, but like they're not even interested in that grade of clothing like you guys are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm definitely starting to feel old.
Same, dude. I mean, I'm like.
The 90s. What's up?
We're old heads. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah, I love that video that you posted about pet peeves.
Yeah.
I'm like everything he's saying right now. My girlfriend's just like, I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. I'm like, I agree with pretty much 95% of what he's saying.
Yeah, I just had to I had to say what people were thinking, you know?
But it's all like, we all have those pet peeves.
For sure.
And you get older, and especially because I'm sure, you know, when I first got into this, all these old guys were like, who's this fucking asshole? You know? And now I'm kind of the same way, but I try not to be guilty because when I first got into it, all the old timers around here were kind of dicks to me. They're like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, I've been doing this for, I still put vintage on my shirt that you ever drank in your life.
Yeah.
Shit like that. So now I try, you know, there's so many new kids doing this, and good for them. And sometimes it bugs me, but I just have to think back, like, I hated it when these guys were dicks. So, like, I just try to be cool with everybody. And just,
yeah, no, I think it is different, man. Like, nobody would share information or anything back in those days. You had to do your own work, man. Like, there was, and nobody picked together. Like, nobody, I don't know. It was such a secretive business, man.
Yeah, I remember a story about the vintage. Remember the vintage denim book by David Little? I think his name was.
Was it like a tiny little handbook thing, or was it a big book?
No, it was like a softcover book that showed what to look for denim. It came out in like I think the 80s, the 90s, but people were stealing it from the library to keep people from getting information about. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like the one mentality. It's like, okay, if nobody knows what the old stuff is or how to identify it, then there's going to be nobody who's going to want it in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't really work. It's like if the more people that know about it, there's more people that are going to want to look for it, but there's also then it creates way more buyers for it.
Right.
So it kind of goes both ways. But that's crazy that people were like hoarding the book. I need to get that book. I don't think I have it.
Yeah, at the time I found it, it was super. I mean, it was like used copies on eBay were like $150 to $200. I mean, this was like early 2000s, I think, when I tried to get it.
Yeah.
And luckily, you know, I worked so hard for it. I found somebody. You know how people fuck up; they don't know what they have, and I got it for like $20.
Nice.
And I've had it since. I mean, and now you don't need that book, but back then I did because there wasn't that information.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that would have probably been one of the first books, and there was no information anywhere. There was no internet to search it on.
No,
now there's 10
Instagram.
books on Levi's, right?
Yeah, now you can find out anything.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have all the books. Every vintage book I've ever found I bought just because I love, like, you know, it's great resources to have.
Yeah, I've got a big book collection as well.
I'm pretty jealous of Ricky's book collection.
And the thing, I've never sold a book. Like, even when I've been broke as fuck and I need money, I'm like, I can't get rid of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I got the King of Vintage books, I got all the Vintanaka books, and then I got the random sneaker books.
But even with the internet, there's better information in those books than you'd ever find online.
Yeah, well, it's hard to sift through the crap when you do searches, right? Too much junk comes up.
Yeah, I know. So much of it that says vintage is not vintage.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been to Japan?
No, not yet.
You gotta get over there. You gotta take a big, huge bag of dirty clothes, head over there.
Right? Just pay for the trip.
Is that who's buying from you guys at your
I
warehouse now? Like, have you guys been getting Japanese clients in?
Oh, yeah. Minneapolis is kind of a best for vintage. I mean, there's a lot of Japanese customers that fly in here.
And there's a lot more new ones coming through. I mean, it goes in streaks. For a while, it kind of fell off, and there was only, like, you know, certain buyers coming through, and now it seems like there's a new one every. Somebody's like, hey,
that's crazy.
A lot of them want nice stuff, and we just don't really find much of that in houses. You know, they're looking through piles of dirty denim, and they're just like disappointed.
There's too many people looking for 90s now. Like, all these young kids, that's what they're all about. Like, I used to find the polo shit back in the day when nobody was looking for it, you know? I've had pretty much every good piece of polo. I wouldn't say every, but you know, I had 2 peeling long bills. Like I had the sweater, the fucking cycling jacket. Like I used to find that stuff. Now I'm lucky to find just a fucking polo shirt with a pony on it.
It's wild, man. And yeah, you're right. All the Japanese are looking for it. Some of our customers that come to see us in Cali have switched from like all true vintage to like 50% 90s.
Yeah,
it's wild. But I mean, for us, we still find quite a bit from where we're picking, so it's good for sure. I mean, we don't find as much old stuff anymore, really. Like we'll get like 1 piece a month or a couple good pieces a month, if anything.
Well, you guys are posting shit all the time. I'm like, God damn it.
We find stuff. We get ours.
On the vintage game after you post a bunch of shit.
Definitely not like it used to be. So so since you guys deal in like all kind of, you know, older stuff, like mostly pre-50s, right? How have you found like the fluctuations in the market in the last couple of years on that stuff?
Well, I feel like it's kind of going down for certain things.
So what things do you think have gone down?
What's that?
What items have gone down?
Like just like a pair of 50s, like carpenter denim jeans. Like I feel like those were worth more a few years ago. Now people are like, eh. And there's some stuff where I think like, all right, I got some good shit for this guy, and then it'll be old stuff that I used to sell to him a year ago, and then he comes and he doesn't even give it a second look. But then he buys something completely different.
Yeah,
that I
true.
wouldn't expect to buy. But I don't know.
It's kind of wild, man, how things like fluctuate, you know, like leather. Like you can't like leather, it's hard to sell any good leather for good money unless it's like a 30s or like a 20s, like something really interesting. You know, like Browns Beach they say is down. I don't know, like certain, and then denim's like, you know, denim's holding pretty strong, I think. But again, like I don't need like, go ahead.
I feel like with Instagram, people are just kind of over certain things. You know, like Stifle. I feel like everyone has Stifle now. You know?
Yeah.
Or Brown's Beach jackets. Everyone's posting a Brown's Beach jacket. I'm just like,
I think I
care.
5 or 6 of those a day.
I don't care about your Brown's Beach jacket anymore.
They're getting grumpy.
Yeah, that could be it, man.
Like if you see something, just like you said, like anybody can sell that shit.
Yeah, totally.
It sells itself. And it's like, okay, cool. I love Brown's Beach jackets. It's best. And yeah, I want to find them. But I'm kind of over it. Like, it's for cool, fine. But like, I want to find something crazy that nobody has seen.
For you guys, a Browns Beach is like an everyday thing going through friggin' barns and houses. Like, that's like the staple of American Midwest.
Yeah. I mean, I think that stuff is super cool if somebody's out somewhere and finds it, right? But if somebody's just like on eBay buying that and posting awesome stuff that they got on eBay, I'm just like, okay,
that takes it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, they didn't get their hands dirty. They didn't get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah. That takes good for you if you have the money to buy whatever you want, but.
Yeah.
I feel like some people pose on Instagram like they found it in the wild, but you know they bought that for retail on eBay. Like, where's the fun in that?
Totally, man. Like that energy, the energy of the hunt and the energy of the find is like passed into the garment. It makes it that much cooler. You can pick it up. Yep. It's like there was all that talk about kids at the bins in LA bringing goods into the bins to take pictures in the bins so they could flex.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's a real thing.
They do it here.
Why would you want to post a picture in a fucking shitty bin anyways?
Yeah.
I don't get that whole mentality.
So weird, man.
I mean, I guess more into it. It's probably the same type of thing as us taking a picture of something by an abandoned house.
But it's like, but we're on the road and we're finding it on the road. We're not like buying shit at an estate sale and then taking it and putting it in the dirt and rubbing some dirt on it and acting like,
Yeah, exactly. You actually did the hide. Fuck no, the house is the coolest thing, man. Keep posting pictures by houses. Keep posting pictures in the cornfield.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. It's crazy how much.
So I want to come out and do a trip one time.
You're always welcome.
Dude, that'd be so fun.
We gotta
Like,
wait till Kurt gets a new truck, though.
Yeah, we need another seat in the truck.
yeah.
Because people ask, dude, all the time. They're like, "Can we come?" I'm like, dude, it's a 2-seater truck. Like, you want to ride?
Yeah, I wonder why it's a 2-seater truck. It's never gonna be anything else but a 2-seater truck. So, yo, I had another score that well, actually wasn't me. A good friend, like my best friend, found in Canada. He was up at a fishing resort on the northern coast of BC where you had to fly a float plane in.
Okay.
And basically, like, there's these fishing resorts, salmon fishing resorts, all up the coast. Like, people come in from everywhere to fish, right? And they're just up there in the summer, and there's a native community up there. And they had one store. It's like one kind of, what do you call it? Like a general store where they sold everything, right? And I think the store was even floating. It was like a store on the dock.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, so he was in there, and he's like calling me from their like satellite phone or whatever. This was a lot of years ago, and he's like, "Yo, they have like all this crazy dead stock Levi's and all this shit in this store." Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I guess because this store, it's so remote that they would bring stuff in, and they're never gonna get rid of anything if it didn't sell. So it just went into like a cupboard or something, right?
Yeah.
So he brought me down from this trip at the end of the summer, like I think 2 pairs of dead stock Big E's, but they weren't hella old. They were like 70 or like maybe late 60s, and then a bunch of dead stock Big E Western shirts. Super rad. But then it got so yeah. I remember I sold those to Larry back in the day when like we were seeing Larry probably every month at the bowl, and it was super good score.
Used to pay my mortgage pretty much every other month.
Yeah, right. I know. It went from like Larry like coming always buying 1 or 2 pieces for sure, to like you'd think you'd have something for him. You're like, Larry's gonna love this, and then he would. Yeah, like you said, you wouldn't even look at it. You'd be like, what? Like the level of pickiness went up so much.
Yeah. I remember Larry came into my store once. He's like, "Do you have it?" When he actually was in Minneapolis when I had a vintage shop, and I love Larry. He's a super down to earth guy.
Yeah, great guy.
And he comes, and I was actually like intimidated by this guy because I'm like, "Holy shit! Like this seems legit." Blah blah blah. You know. So like when he came into my store, he's like, "Do you have anything for me?" And I'm like, well, "No, I don't have any 20th denim." I'm like, "We can look around the shop." He's just like, "Yeah, I don't shop racks."
He actually said that.
He did. I was like, "Oh shit."
That is so funny. Yeah, like we used to pull the things that we thought he'd want, but then after like 3 or 4 months go by where like you pull the stuff you thought he wanted, and then he's like, nah. Then you're like, I just don't know what you want, Larry. I can't figure this grade out anymore.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
Yeah, it's weird.
But anyway, so back to the story for a sec. My plan. So yeah, he found this stuff up there, and then I was thinking, I'm like, there's got to be more outposts like this up north BC, because basically from like Vancouver all the way to Alaska, it's like pretty remote country. There's not a lot of people up there, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I should charter a boat and just sail up the coast of BC, stopping at every little like remote outpost in town.
Yeah.
Find friggin' dead stock, find crazy abandoned places, and then find weird surf breaks that no one's ever surfed and surf them. Had this whole plan, man. It was going to be epic. So maybe one day.
Sounds like an amazing trip.
Yep. Just me and the boys on a boat. Not a care in the world.
Did you do it?
No, I never did it. This is just my plan, man. I still got to do it.
You got to do it, man. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. This is like early retirement plan. I'm just going to charter the boat up north to Alaska.
Yeah, I've got my plan on the place I want to go.
Where's that? Secret?
I'm trying to get clear. I don't want to tell anybody. What? I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh,
See, it's
like
a super secret if you don't know.
It's not super. It's just It's my hometown. It's in Michigan, and I just know the certain spot. I've been through there, but like I was on like a family vacation, so like I really didn't have a lot of time to fuck around.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always wanted to go back to found like these certain like I found like we were just driving through this town, and it said these clothing. You know, it was a grocery store / clothing place. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, I gotta stop there. And I go in, and it's fucking just dead stock clothes from anywhere. I mean, there wasn't a lot of really old stuff, but it was like 60s. I found a pair of 40s, like, dead stock horsehide boots. They were a small size, but they were like $10. And the place was full of shit.
Sick.
And there's more, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to go back up in that area and just let's do it next week. And I'm ready. Let's go.
So when you guys do this, like you hit a day a week, like how far are you driving?
It depends. Usually, if we go more than 5 hours away from where we live, then we make it a 2 or 3 day trip.
Yeah, and then Kurt and I got to snuggle in an old motel.
Oh,
so,
man.
You know, if we go into a different state, usually it's a 2 day trip. You know, but there's so much just right around us that we'll be going for years.
Yeah, that is so cool, man. That is so sweet, and I know it's hard to comprehend how much there really is out there until you're driving every which direction, right?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that many families were just willing to walk away from a house. You know?
Yeah.
It's strange, kind of.
I feel like certain towns just all of a sudden just basically went out of business. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like if a factory goes down or something, or the farm closes, like no one's got work, everyone just leaves.
And they all just pack up and find the next spot. I mean,
or like the kids always move away. The kids move away because they're like, I don't want to live in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna move to the city.
Right.
And then the parents like die, and the kids are like, fuck cleaning the house out. And just leave it.
Just sits there.
It's crazy. Well, it's good for you guys though. Else you wouldn't be in business at this point.
Right. I just wish I would have figured this shit out earlier. Like, even, say, 10 years ago. I mean, because a lot of times we roll up our places and we talk to people like, we just burned all the clothes last week. 2 years ago. It's like,
Or, my neighbor's house was full of clothes. We just burned that last year.
or got bulldozed. It's like, the fact that we're still finding stuff that is still out there, like, I bet there was even more, you know, even when I started doing this, like, in the early 2000s or whatever. I can't imagine what was out there in the like, what we're doing now.
So much, man. I've rolled up to like.
I probably own a big ass house.
I've done like some hoarder digs where like people have called me in Vancouver and they've said like, we're cleaning out this house. This person's got to go to a home, come and buy stuff. And I'll get there and they've already thrown out about two full dumpsters of stuff, right? And I'm like, fuck, I know there was so much good stuff in there, but what can you do? Because the people they didn't call me early enough and they already hauled the dumpsters away, and they just don't get it. They're like, oh, this greasy pair of jeans in the garage that they used to wipe up the oil slicks, you know?
Right.
Worth $10,000.
What's this weird silky jacket that says Alaska?
Yeah.
Throw that out.
Toss
You know
it away.
what's weird? We go into a lot of houses that we find a ton of clothes, but there's no denim there. And I think people like 10 years ago or 5 years ago were going into these abandoned houses and just taking the denim because that's all they knew.
During the Levi's craze.
Oh, that makes total sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah, I mean, half the houses we go into were not the first ones through there.
Yeah, you
Imagine
can see
if-
all the
imagine
clothes,
that-
all the
this-
closets and-
That's so crazy to me that, like, imagine being able to be that picky. Being like, I'm only going to go through this abandoned house and take just the Levi's.
Yeah.
And leave all this other shit. Like, that's insane.
I don't need those Lee. stronghold? What's that?
Yeah. Wow.
Must have been nice.
Must have been nice. Yeah, those were the days. That's the days when dudes would drive around with the vans that said, "We buy your Levi's," and just go town to town.
Yeah, like the old pawn shops is always like. Anytime I go to South Dakota, it's so funny because they still got the signs in South Dakota, all the pawn shops.
They still have those signs?
They still have those signs. Levi's, I mean, they're old signs. And
Yeah.
They do. I found a pair of red lines probably, I don't know, 6-7 years ago at one of those South Dakota pawn shops, and they were like $22.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's so many ways to find clothes or get clothes out there, and like it's interesting to see all the different ways, you know, like friggin' estate sales, garage sales, Craigslist, eBay, bins.
Facebook Marketplace.
What's that?
Facebook Marketplace.
That's a score, man. That's an underrated score right there.
And dude, even when Etsy first came out, oh my god, I used to kill on there.
Yeah, dude.
People would post shit, they didn't know what the fuck it was.
Now though, don't you think Etsy's so overtaxed now?
Well, I don't fuck with Etsy anymore.
Yeah. Man, every time I go on Etsy to try to find anything, I'm like, these guys are smoking crack with these prices. Like, 3 times market value.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not going to say that I've never put some crazy prices on shit. You know, but when you're consistently doing that with like shit that's obviously not worth that much.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
I don't know. That shit annoys me, man. Especially because they're just like, they're fishing for it. They're like, I'm just going to fish for like the highest price here, and hopefully someone buys it and just bring it slowly down until I hit. But I don't know.
They're like, I don't know what this is worth, so I'm just going to put a crazy price on it. $2,000, and I'm not going to sell it and hold on to it for the rest of my life.
And then everyone else would be like, well, look, I found one. There's one here on Etsy for $5,000. So mine's worth $5,000. You're like, yeah, right, buddy.
That's when everything goes crazy. And you're at the garage sale, and there's a pair of boots, and they're like, these are $15,000 on eBay. Yeah, they got the eBay list they taped to the boots.
I've yet to see that, thank God.
Really?
No, I haven't seen that, man, at a yard sale.
I've seen that at least 100 times.
Wow.
So many times. Even at thrift stores, dude.
Yeah, it's like, well, then why are you having a yard sale? Come on.
Yeah, just so they need.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I know what shit's worth, and I'll still wholesale that shit. You know, it's like, you're here, you want to give me cash? Yeah, I know it's worth, you want to give me 80 or 75? Sold.
Yeah.
Like, take the money and run, dude. Move on to the next thing. Like you said, flip it. Keep going.
Flip it, keep going. Hit the road and hit some houses. Yo, so let's talk about inspiration for a sec. So you guys did inspiration last year, right? Both of you?
Yeah, we were there together.
Did I meet you then? Did I meet you at inspiration, Kurt?
We talked. Well, I didn't talk with you. No,
Okay.
I don't think I met you down there. I talked to you briefly.
Yeah, we chatted briefly. I was like kind of cruising around.
I was working the booth while Ricky was out drinking.
I was
Yeah.
getting wasted with Aaron Lacey.
Well, you pay enough for the booth. You gotta get your fill of the booze. Come on.
Yeah. No, I was just socializing.
Nice. So, how was it last year?
I had a great time. I mean, well, here's the thing. So, that trip is gonna, like, that was our best trip ever as far as finding shit houses. Like, we killed it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, we used inspiration
just saying.
We used it as a reason to go on a 12-day picking trip.
If we would have just turned around in fucking Colorado and came back home, we would have made way more money.
Nah.
But Kurt really wanted to go to Instagram.
I'm inspiration. You know, I'm new in the business, so I wanted to go meet people. I don't want to be the guy that messages Larry without ever meeting him.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's
I mean, inspiration's great for that. It's like just a gathering of the vintage heads, gathering of the minds, you know?
Yeah.
That was the first year we didn't do it.
It's basically like Comic-Con for vintage players.
Well, Ricky and I, we had the worst booth there, hands down. but no, it was pretty bad.
I mean, it wasn't.
But it was fun because people walked into our booth and they're like, oh, okay, this might not be the greatest stuff here, but these guys are out there finding the stuff. It was fun.
Yeah, we didn't have like the best shit there, but our booth was.
But you had the best story, that's for damn sure.
And we had our buddy there doing chain stitching.
Oh, nice.
It was fun. But
so, just for those people that don't know Inspiration is Rose Bowl weekend in February, the Friday night and the Saturday in LA. Where was it at? Where's it at this year?
I don't know. Like convention center. I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, look it up. Inspiration LA. You guys are coming back, obviously, right? Going to do another picking trip on the way?
Yeah, we're coming, but I don't know if we're going to set up. We might just go and fucking post up outside and get people out of the fucking truck.
You got a nice in your Rose Bowl booth for us?
Not
Yeah, probably.
No, I'm talking about, I don't want to set up. Like,
You just have like a tailgate, man. It's perfect.
basically, yeah.
Yeah. And we just want another excuse to drive across country and go through abandoned houses and weird states.
Well, dude, I mean, fuck. If that was your best trip, then get it. That was awesome.
It was so fun.
Who do you guys want to shout out here? Anybody?
Shout out. I mean, I'm with the guy I would shout out to.
I mean, I'll shout out you. Well,
yeah, we're
for having us on here. Like, I mean, honestly, I know this sounds like nerdy, and I'm just saying, like, the fact that you like appreciate what we do and like how you've been in the game so long, like that is kind of like an ego boost for me.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that.
Give a fuck about us, because like, yeah, you guys obviously especially did.
I love this shit, man. I'm stoked for you guys. I'm stoked we got to chat.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I mean, shout out fucking Bearded Mermaid.
Bearded Mermaid.
Nick,
he's the daddy.
Killing the game in Minneapolis. He's the main shit. We love him. He's a good dude. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man.
Mom.
So, by the way, boys, we gotta go have dinner or something this time when you're in LA in February.
That'd be fun, dude.
That'd be awesome.
And okay, so
maybe we can do an in-person podcast.
Yeah, that's way better. I hope this sound comes out okay. Sorry if the sound sucks, everybody, but we should definitely do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you're Kurt, you're Smokestack Vintage. Ricky, you're Ricky KZ, right?
Yeah, that's RICKYKZ.
All right.
You listen to blogs.
OG's in the game. True. I call it barns. Hey, do you guys have a name for it? Because I call it barnstorming.
We call it junk and disorderly.
Junk and disorderly?
Junk and disorderly, yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't really have I usually say I don't really have a name for it. I'm just like, I'm going to sick houses and I'm going to fucking social.
Yeah, so sick. Well, dudes, thanks for being on the show, man. This was awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And him.
All right, well, everybody, just go give us a review because you know you like this episode. Subscribe to the podcast, and we'll see you next time.